Okay, good afternoon to everybody. Appreciate you all being here. Let me give you an injury update real quick here. Really, nothing's changed from a week ago. Mitch Morse, we'll get him back, so we're excited about that. We'll put him at center, and it's nice to get him back. He had a strained MCL. He's doing very well. And James Franklin is, we don't have him in the depth yet, but he moved over from out to the doubtful. Chance, is our last meeting with our trainers that they thought that he would not play. So we'll see where that goes, and we anticipate him not playing, and then we'll go with Corbin Bergstresser again as we head into this game against Kentucky. Kentucky, has had their problems also throughout the season. I think they got a very, very good football program as they build. But then again, as I look at this whole thing's about us and how we play, and how we go out there and compete for this this win and trying to get a win here. So we're going to work real hard to do that, and we're excited about the opportunity to get back to work. I think the bye week was good. I think it's always good. I mean, you're going to look at the pluses and advantages of it regardless of where it's at. But where it came in our schedule this year, I think was certainly we needed it. And we got a lot of things done that we normally do. It's a what we call a bye week schedule, so it's no different than any other schedule that time we've ever done it before when we've settled in on this format. And basically, it's getting game planning done at the beginning of the week on Sunday and Monday morning for Kentucky, and coordinators stay and on Tuesdays and Thursdays have meetings and walkthroughs, putting the game plan in or a portion thereof the game plan, and then the players are out, or the coaches are out recruiting all week long, get all those things done and taking care of those things there. And then our players really having time off. They have to lift weights, do a little bit of running, but for the most part, getting away, and I think it's been really good for them. And we have a practice Saturday morning, which we had one Saturday morning. We had one Sunday evening. And very typical to what we do and what we believe in. And we think it accomplishes a lot of goals, and feel good about it and excited about being back in game week.
Gary, you already alluded to this, but there have been some things with the schedule you wouldn't have drawn up, but was this as good timing as you might have asked for a bye week with the trend you guys were in?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's kind of wherever it unfolds. I mean, what we do is we look at the schedule. We hung the schedule up in January, and we know exactly what we were doing at that time. A couple games we didn't know, but you hang it up and then you deal with it. And this is where it came. And I think obviously it was we've played some real good football teams, and we've had some issues, and so it's good timing where it came. I think it was you got half the conference schedule left and one non-conference game. And so it's I think we got a lot of things accomplished, and one of which is just kind of guys just getting away and just relaxing a little bit and getting away from football a little bit. And I think it's important to do.
Gary, when you say James is doubtful, I mean, could there be a situation where he would be available to play but not start, or did he start?
Our medical staff have to make that decision Thursday. First of all, he has to be released. Number two is he has to be functional. And functional means that he can, move and do the things necessary with a strained MCL. He's not even run to this date. He's not run at all. And so, again, the medical staff makes that decision. Then we make the decision whether he's functional and what he can do, and what you might ask him to do. So we'll know that as the week goes on, but make those final decisions Thursday or whenever they feel it's appropriate.
He's not practicing yet, or wouldn't practice?
No, he was throwing the football. So we got a chance to do that. So he's been back there and just taking snaps and throwing, but he's not run at all.
Gary, since it's your first season in the SEC, did you use this week also as time to kind of assess where you guys are in terms of how your systems fit with this?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Not at all. No, we do that all the time. We don't wait for a halfway point to say, okay, let's go back and look and analyze and reflect. We don't ever do that. We do it ongoing, and that will never change. And so, not at all.
The depth chart with Marcus on the kickoff returns, I assume, obviously the one against Alabama, big play. Is he
Yeah, but TJ, a lot of times if if Marcus is, if he's carried the ball a few times and we want to put TJ in there, TJ does a good job also. I think they both work well. But obviously as a running back, he's exceptional, and certainly as a punt and kick returner, he's done some great things. It's great to have a player like that back there that can, touch the football and change a game. It's really. He was a sophomore, and so that's he's a great kid, and got a lot of confidence. I think what happens too is if you're on the kickoff return team, or if you're on the what we call the Rangers punt returns team, and you got a guy back there that can do that. Well, you block a little harder, you sustain a little bit longer, you give even a greater effort, and you should give a consistent effort anyway. But just like having a great quarterback, that's in your offensive line, you want to protect them, or a great tailback, and so I think that's certainly positive, for both those units, and it's certainly nice to have him.
Has Eric Waters come back without any problems?
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. He was Saturday morning. He did not look good at all. Started him with a red pullover, then put a red jersey on, and then. Yesterday last night he was a different guy, and we expect him to be back 100%.
Going back to Marcus a little bit on the returns, did you expect that he'd be so successful on the returns?
Well, he's a guy with great quickness and explosiveness, and all he needs is space. He's one of those guys that needs space. Just give him some space, and he can make people miss, and then he just does what he does naturally. I don't think you coach that, or I don't think you teach it. I just think he has that gift, and if I'd have listened to one of the reporters in here, I'd have put him a kickoff return like 3 weeks ago. So I should have had that person in my staff meeting.
Is he a guy that he's got, I think, 20 touches on as far as running back? Is he a guy you want involved more in offense?
Well, I think it would be. I think anybody that could see Kendall Lawrence is doing a pretty good job. So if you take away from him, you give it to somebody else, and so I think you have to deal with all those things. Plus, we've been playing some catch up, and so that affects reps at that position and touches at the position. So those are all things that we take into consideration. But we feel fortunate to have him, and also Russell too. 3 quality players.
Coach, along with that, is there any sort of how does Separate to kind of make sure he stays focused maybe on one thing more than the other, rather than lining up the tailback, kind of focusing more on his return game?
No, I think that's all. We have certain times of practice where you do certain things, and really the return game is done. And we do specialty every single day. Of catching punts and kickoff return, those happen every single day. But other than that, they have just their segments in practice. I think this is the question that you're asking. There's like an 8-minute kickoff return period, or a 6 or 7 or 8 minute punt return period. And so when you go to those periods, all the players that are in those areas go in the first or second team, and then they work on their skills there in their team. And then after that, you go back to your offense and defense. So that's how it's planned out. That's the way it works out, and I think it's very easy for him to be able to focus on both.
Gary, is there any reason to make any use of last year's strong finish in terms of talking to the team about where they can still go with this season? And is that something you have or might make use of?
Well, I think you always look back at situations. Last year I was looking back at situations prior to that. I mean, you want everything. You'd like to be 7-0 right here, and so you do mention those things, but I think that the most important thing for our players to understand is this football game is this is where every bit of our attention should be, every bit. And so beyond that, it doesn't really matter. I think they're smart. They know what's going on. They've been around here before. They understand what our goals are. And you start thinking, you start doing the math, and we got to do this, we got to do this. You lose sight of the most important thing, and that's this one football game, and also playing well and competing in this game. I think one thing we do is we're real consistent around here. Okay, we don't come in and change things. Our bye-week schedule's our bye-week schedule. We don't put in brand new offenses, brand new defenses. We don't change the way we lift weights. We don't change the way we practice. Okay, we're very consistent. What we do works. We coach better. We play better, we'll win more. That's the way it works. So the system doesn't change. We do what we do here, okay? And it's just we got to coach our players to do a better job, And when we do that, we'll win more. And that's been the day one since we got here. And then that will never, ever change. We don't come in here and just start changing things and this has been tough, let's try this, let's do this. We'll never do that, okay? The system, what we have in place, works. Do we make adjustments in your kicking game or your offense, your defense? Yeah, we always make those. Those game planning. But our program's our program. How we compete, how we handle adversity, how we handle success has never changed. And it's just consistent. And that's our goal as coaches, is do a better job and get our players, help our players play better. And that's how we'll win more.
Gary, on Saturday, Kentucky helped Georgia to 77 yards rushing. Can you talk about just what they do well?
Well, in that particular game, obviously they did very, very well. And I thought, looking back through the game, I just think that they did an outstanding job. I think their overall game was they played exceptionally well. So I think that just goes to show you, they do have talent. They're a good football team. They played a really good Georgia team, tough. And, we recognize that, Then it's get back to, us playing well, playing better.
Your defense has played well in stretches this year. It looks big plays, kind of common problem. Is there a common issue there with some of those?
Well, we always go back and look at that. Always go back. You can get every big play, which we do. Coach Steck has on video. We can just pull those up, and that's ongoing. You look at it, and you would like to sit there and say, well, if this one position has produced the big plays, and we are playing good defense, but we are giving up too many big plays, and that's something that we're looking at. We've analyzed. We do every week, but certainly looked at it again this week, and it's still about fundamentals. It's still about responsibilities, and I don't think there's anything magic, except that's been a problem, and we certainly have drawn it to the attention of our defensive players, and hopefully we can reduce those. But other than that, we've played overall, I think, pretty good defense against some really good football teams.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about how Corbin has progressed last couple of weeks playing, and also how much more we can expect him to improve with another week of his preparation and everything like that?
Well, I think playing quarterback, certainly it's all about experience, and the only way you get experience is playing. It's the only way at any position, but certainly the difficulty of quarterback. And I think he's done some good things, and I think I think what we're looking for is just more consistency. But the other side of that too is when you have a quarterback that's inexperienced like he is, and what you do is you want your offensive line, you want your receivers, you want the people running backs. If they play really well, that's a whole lot easier to play quarterback better. If you make a lot of great catches, difficult catches, tough catches, understand you got a young quarterback back there, that's kind of when you pass the responsibility out to everybody else. You play better and he'll play better. And that's pretty much what we've done. Now we got a real young offensive line, so we have some of the same issues up front on our the interior of our offensive line. But that being said, still it's the people around him. The better they play, the easier it is for a young quarterback to get in there and improve. And I think he's working hard, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah, they've had a few problems too at quarterback, haven't they? Yeah, they're 1 and 2's out, and they're 3 and 4. That's pretty remarkable. It changes. You're a different football team, and so I certainly understand what they're going through. That's to say it's difficult would be an understatement. And but their players are in there competing, and they're doing some good things. Again, you play the hand you're dealt, and that's unfortunately they were handed that, and we all know how tough that is on a team.
Well, how do you game plan for? You don't really know who's
One of them might come back. We understand he's got an ankle. We're waiting to hear about that, and then the other two, you just got to look at what they do, analysis of what they do when they're in there. I don't think they change their offenses, completely in any way, but we just go back and kind of how they call plays. Like Coach Steck will go back how they call plays in the different field positions and different down and distances with the information that we have of when they've played and when they've played in those situations, and then you just kind of just see if there's, just find out what their strengths, weaknesses are there, and that will hopefully enable us to be able to anticipate a little bit what they'll do in those areas.
I know you evaluate this every week. Have you guys noticed a difference in the effectiveness in the way you guys are able to run the ball in certain sets? For example, like when you have a tackle on the field, when you have a fullback on the field, have you noticed any difference in this?
Yeah, well, when we have, we look at that stuff all the time. I mean, I don't think there's any, I think it mostly depends on defenses that we play. Okay, more so the defenses and the personnel we're playing against, and some of the schemes that we play, where we might be able to do better than others. And so I don't really think there's, in any way there's just, a particular personnel set that is, better for running the football than another. What's hurt us is a little bit is we just, we've kind of gotten, with some of the leads that our opponents have had, it kind of affects a little bit how you call plays.
After the Alabama game, you made a point of saying you weren't going to talk to players, or you weren't going to talk about injuries to players anymore. Did you feel you had to modify a message, or
No, it's been out there. It's been out there. Everybody's talking about it, and I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just, just the way it is. I mean, I'm not talking about me. I don't talk to players about injuries at all. But it's all out there and everywhere it is, and I just give an injury report to kind of tell you exactly where we're at. But to say it's difficult and it's a tough situation, we all know that. Okay, you're a different football team than you started, but we're not going to talk about it anymore. I told the players that I don't care what's written about it, or it doesn't matter. But they've always, we don't have excuses for anything around here. Our record's the way it is, and whether you have 1 injury or 30 injuries, I'm still responsible for us winning and being successful. Thank you. Appreciate it.